16-year-old Khalid says he is lost and on the run. We found him in this Turkish city near the border with Syria. He agreed to an interview on the condition that we not show his face.
I'm not afraid here, but I'm afraid of ISIS.
Khalid was once part of ISIS. He didn't like it, so he escaped.
Allahu Akbar.
It all started, he says, because he wanted revenge against the regime of Bashar al-Assad. His neighborhood was under attack. ISIS offered food and medicine.
They gave you a bit of hope. And you wanted to join them.
We hope that they will become strong and fight the regime.
So, at the age of 15, Khalid joined the ISIS child army. ISIS calls its child soldiers lion cubs of the Caliphate. It celebrates them in propaganda videos like this one. Children are trained to use a rifle, given classes in religion, and taught to love ISIS and hate its enemies. Then the children are sent into combat. For Khalid, that day came sooner than he expected. His camp was attacked only 2 weeks after he had first picked up a gun. 4 ISIS fighters were killed. Khalid was shot in the neck. He was terrified and he missed home. His mother heard he had been wounded and she found him at the ISIS camp.
What did she say to you?
She said, "Take care of yourself."
He can't continue telling his story without crying. 2 months later, Khalid managed to escape across the border to Turkey. He now lives in hiding, sleeping in a cheap hotel.
What would you say to a young person who came up to you and said, "I'm thinking about joining ISIS"?
I will tell him my whole story. I will tell him, don't do it.
Jamie, that is heartbreaking, and he is only one of thousands of young people who have been recruited, especially because of the impact online that ISIS has. Their propaganda machine, as the State Department acknowledged in the summit this week, they are running circles around the Western countries in terms of what they can do online in attracting young people.
Yes, and as I know you've reported, the U.S. government is trying to play catch-up now. Khalid admits that it was videos on the internet plus events on the ground that stirred him and inspired him to join. And he came of age at the very moment that the war in Syria was taking a very dark turn. The moderate rebels that we hear so much about had been significantly weakened by then, by the time he was coming of age. And ISIS was the new game in town. And at the moment that he joined them, there were only 15 or 20 ISIS fighters in his immediate area. And they grew up strong just as he was joining, and just as he decided that this wasn't quite for him.